Test, test. All right, let's not bury the lead. Welcome to my new shop. There's so much to go over in a very, very small amount of time, primarily because we moved to the desert. And despite these walls being insulated, there is no air conditioning in here. So it's hot. First off, so the old shop in California was a 2-car garage that was about 19 feet wide and originally about 20 feet deep. And the former owners of our house pushed the back wall back about 8 additional feet. So it was about 19 by 28, give or take. There was a kind of a cutout for a stairwell. There was a closet in there, but it was about 530 square feet. The biggest downside that you saw in a ton of my videos, 7-foot ceilings. So when I was working in there, it's like here, and not a big deal as far as operating and walking around. Obviously that's all perfectly fine. But anytime I'm turning material over, I've got tabletop that I'm flipping over to sand the other side, etc. The amount of dings and dents and whatnot that I put into that ceiling was a major headache. It's obviously affecting the workpiece, but the kind of primary drawback from that is storage. I was not able to take advantage of any kind of upper out of the way storage. So even the long-term stuff, those few things that you only use once in a blue moon, twice a year if you're lucky, that type of thing that, you know, is worthwhile investing in and having, those were all basically on floor level. And so the biggest difference between here and there that we'll get into, 7-foot ceilings. In that old unit, I also had a portable floor standing air conditioner that just vented out the back window, which was my only window in that shop. It did a pretty good job of keeping up. In the summertime, when it was running, I could keep it to a standard temperature of, I think I generally ran it at about 76, 78, and it held there. It was perfectly up to the task, but it was an older unit, and before I moved, it did die. So the last, I would say, 2.5 months of living there, finishing off my last couple of projects and packing up the shop was all in, non-controlled temperature. The old shop, about 530 square feet, 7-foot ceilings, totaling in at about 3,700 cubic feet of usable space. The new shop, you're gonna see some of the layout here. It's much bigger. It's about double the square footage. There's there's a wall separating what will be a traditional garage for the family and my shop. We kind of know where it's gonna go, but there is a vent and there is a sprinkler in here that needs to be moved, needs to be adjusted for, so that wall could adjust a little bit from where we have it in mind now. But realistically, you're looking at about 950 square feet. So going from 530 to 950, we're obviously way ahead of the game there. In addition, the biggest difference is 12-foot ceilings. So when you do, it's about 31 by 31, give or take. This has some more nooks and interesting kind of details to it. But in general, without taking all those into account, it's about 31 by 31, give or take again where that wall ends up landing. And then with 12-foot ceilings, you're looking at 11,500 cubic feet of storage. So I'm going from 3,700 cubic feet of essentially usable space to 11,500, give or take. Monstrous. Behind me, right where this wall is going to come in a 3-ton, 2-head unit for a mini split. That is rated up to about 1,000 square feet. We're at 950. We're gonna operate right inside that window. To be sorted out is the moving air aspect in here. In the previous shop and in the coming weeks, you're gonna actually see a video about a filtered box fan design that I did. It worked really well and cleaned the air out a lot. But also some overhead fan to kind of keep things moving has been recommended to me. My downside to that is lighting in here is gonna be very important with as much filming as I do. And I don't want that overhead fan to be creating anything inside the video as far as, kind of that swirling light or that affected light if it's going to come into play. In this shop has a sink that will end up getting redone. I've got a couple of ideas of a project I want to do there. So the main priorities to get done here, the contractor is going to be tackling the AC, the wall. He's going to be painting the entire roof and all the walls in here of both the shop and the garage side of everything, running the electrical and doing the lighting. I would love to do these projects. I got to get this done because I got to start making some projects here. I might grab some clips of these guys working as they're here, but realistically, my emphasis is on getting this thing up and operational rather than creating the content around somebody else doing the work. And then we'll start to tackle the projects of setting up the shop layout, and other things like that.
So you can see here, it's a little funky to play with this new software, but got it pretty close to the layout of the shop. I'm showing about 921 square feet. Like I said, give or take depending on where the wall goes in. Pretty accurate, but we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. And not that that's overly necessary that it's deadly accurate, but just kind of an idea of what we're working on. So you're going to see the red pin come in here in a second. As soon as we do jump inside, that's where we're going to be starting at. So just as a point of reference for you. But before we jump into the interior of the shop, let me show you the front and side of the wall. So first we're out front, and you can see that there is an RV door on the right hand side, which measures about 12 feet wide and 11 feet tall. And then on the left side is a standard 8x8 single garage door. The plan as of now is to leave the right door as is, and that'll be the entrance and exit for materials, for tools, for projects, etc. The door on the left, to deactivate the garage door, remove the track so I can have the overhead space and build a temporary in front of that door on the interior side so that I could use it for wall space. Shifting over where the AC unit's going to work, it'll sit closer to the ground. That's just, I'm new at using this software. There is an entrance and exit door on the right and 2 5x5 windows, good size, and lots of natural light. Okay, jumping inside now, we are where that red pin was, straight ahead of the 2 windows we were just taking a look at. This would be obviously the main portion of the workspace. From here on out, I'm basically going to make a 360 around the room and work as if the camera were working to the left, so your view is going to continue moving clockwise around the shop.
A couple things I'd like to know. So shop layout, I'm thinking about putting an office in here. I'd love to have a dust-free zone that I can come in and record, edit, and I have some other project ideas that I want to do that I want to, with 950 square feet, maybe bite off 70 or 80 and just do like an 8x8 office that's got a window kind of into the shop. Not going to take advantage of the shop windows because I don't want to eat those up. But I kind of want to do a combination of an office in here, but also a closet for dust collector so that I can run that in a kind of more of a noise controlled spot. In the interim, what would you like to see? There's obviously not power to run my larger tools yet, but I do have a lot of battery powered tools. Do you guys want to see some projects that are done with small handheld tools, using tools that are probably more accessible to a lot of the general audience? Or there's a lot of projects to tackle here around the house, a lot of landscaping projects, a lot of cleaning out of stuff. Is that something you guys might be interested in as well? I need to be able to give them the space and time to come in and get this up and running in here. And so in the interim, we want to make sure that, I'm interacting with you guys as an audience and that you guys are feeling a part of this. So leave me a comment below and you can either let me know landscape house, small tool projects. Let me know below. Anywho, so that's what's going on here. Very excited about this space, very excited about the opportunities it provides. And I can't wait to get in here and get after it, but I also know that some of these things kind of require some patience. So thanks so much for checking in. In the interim, if you would like to, go and check out my Patreon. It's linked below. I've got a couple of different tiers. I think they're all pretty reasonably priced. And my biggest goal there is to do 2 things. Number 1, generate a really fun and interactive community of people that feel like they're involved and that they're supported when they ask questions. They're gonna get an answer that's authentic and that's thought through. Secondly, I do wanna provide the value. You're feeling like the quality of listener feedback, the interaction is equitable on both ends. So if you're interested, No pressure, but I do really appreciate anyone who does go over there and take a look at that. Like, comment, subscribe. Trying to grow this channel. I'm gonna try and continuously grow the channel. I've got about 7 or 8 videos that are backlogged that I'm in the process of editing, and so you're gonna see a consistent amount of content coming out in the near future. But in order to do that type of thing long term, it obviously is a two-way support system. I'm gonna keep doing what I can to provide these valuable pieces of content for you guys, to generate this community and to interact with you guys. But on the other side, obviously, some of those things come with other requests. So I do appreciate you guys taking the time to check it out today. Thanks for checking out the video, and I will talk to you guys very soon. See ya.